ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهد الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا محمد عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما إخوة الإيمان السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. We give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has given us another opportunity to gather here in another Yom al-Jum'ah, Friday, which is the 10th day of Jumadal Ula, year 1445 after the year of Prophet Muhammed sallallahu alaihi wasallam from Makkah to Medinat, which is equivalent to the 24th day of the month of November, year 2023, in the year of Gregorian. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has brought us here together today, may He accept this as an act of worship from us. The ones we have observed in the past, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept them and forgive us of our shortcomings. The one we are going to observe in future, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let it coincide with His mercy and use it as a hujjah for us and not hujjah against us in this world and in the hereafter. Today, as we have promised last week, at Qudratullahi Ta'ala, we start the discussion concerning Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, the Al-Aqsa Mosque. We are going to discuss about what is Al-Aqsa, and we are going to talk about the blessings associated to this Masjid Al-Aqsa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in Surah Al-Isra, Qur'an Chapter 17, verse number 1. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim wa bihi nasta'in. Subhanalladhi yasra bi abdihi laylan min al-masjid al-haram ila al-masjid al-aqsa alladhi barakna hawlahu linuriyahu min ayatina innahu huwa as-sami'ul basir. Sadaqallahu al-azim. Allah mentioned concerning this al-masjid al-aqsa, He mentioned in this particular chapter and in this particular verse. We can't find anything less than 21 verses in the Holy Quran that Allah has referred to this mosque and referred to the blessed land that this mosque is cited, which I'm going to mention few out of those 21 verses. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in Surah Al-Baqarah, Qur'an Chapter 2, verse 144. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. قد نرى تقلب وجهك في السماء فلنولينك قبلة ترضاها فول وجهك شطر المسجد الحرام وحيثما كنتم فولوا وجوهكم شطره وإن الذين أوتوا الكتاب ليعلمون أنه الحق من ربهم وما الله بغافل عما يعملون. Allah mentioned to us again in Quran Chapter 21, verse 71, Surah Al-Anbiya. وَنَجَيْنَاهُ وَلُوطًا إِلَّا الْأَرْضِ الَّتِي بَارَكْنَا فِيهَا لِلْعَالَمِينَ. He mentioned again in Surah Al-Anbiya, Quran Chapter 21, verse 105. وَلَقَدْ كَتَبْنَا فِي الزُّبُرِ مِنْ بَعْدِ الذِّكْرِ أَنَّ الْأَرْضَ يَرِثُهَا عِبَادِيَ الصَّالِحُونَ. Allah mentioned again in Quran Chapter 23, Surah Al-Mu'minun, verse 20. وَشَجَرَةً تَخْرُجُ مِنْ طُورِ سَيْنَاءَ تَنبُتُ بِالدُّهْنِ وَالسِّبْغٍ لِلْآكِلِينَ. He mentioned again in this same Surah Al-Mu'minun, Quran Chapter 23, verse 50. وَجَعَلْنَا ابْنَ مَرْيَمَ وَأُمَّهُ آيَةً وَآوَيْنَاهُمَا إِلَى رَبْوَةٍ ذات قرار ومعين. He mentioned again in Qur'an Chapter 34, verse 18, Surah Al-Sabai. وَجَعَلْنَا بَيْنَهُمْ وَبَيْنَ الْقُرَى الَّتِي بَارَكْنَا فِيهَا قُرَى ظَاهِرَةً وَقَدَّرْنَا فِيهَا سَيْرَ سِيرُوا فِيهَا لَيَالِيَ أَيَّامًا آمِنِينَ. Sadaqallahu al-Azim. These are some of the verses we can bring for us now concerning this masjid and the blessed land that this masjid is being cited. Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah said, Inna al-khalqa wal-amra ba'da al-khalqu wal-amra bi Makkah mukarrama waja'ala Allahu bayt al-maqdis wa ma hawla ma'ashara khalqihi fa ila al-bayt al-maqdis yahudu jami'ul khalqi wa hunaka yusharu al-khalq kama qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam hiya al-ardu ma'ashar wal-manshar. Wa qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam la tashuddu rihal illa salasati masajid al-Masjid al-Haram wal-Masjid Al-Aqsa wal-Masjid Nabi Muhammad sallallahu wa Masjidi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ibadallah, inna Allah ya'murukum bil adli wal ihsan wa ita'i dhil qurba wa yanha 'anil fahsha'i wal munkar wal baghi ya'izukum la'allakum tadhakkarun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us, as we have read to us, that He glorified Himself in the fourth verse of the Surah Al-Isra, that Subhanallazi asra bi abdihi laylan min al-Masjid al-Haram ila al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. All glorification, all purification, all adoration, all exaltation belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has given His servant. And who was that servant? Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He has given him the opportunity. Asra bi abdihi laylan. He gave him the opportunity to travel in the night, in the midnight. Asra bi abdihi laylan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called Prophet Muhammad abdihi. He called him his servant. So those that are calling themselves the Son of God, where did they find it from? The most noble person that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created was Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Allah is using an adjective of what? A servant. Allah is using it for him. That I have the opportunity, and I gave the opportunity to my servant to travel a night journey. Min al-Masjid al-Haram ila al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, from the holy mosque, Sacred Mosque, that is housing Baitul Atiq, that is housing Kaaba, that is Masjid Al-Haram. Then how many Arams do we have? We are going to come to that. Allah said, I gave him the opportunity to travel from that mosque, a night journey, ila al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, to the holy mosque that is in where? That is in Jerusalem, on the land of Palestine. Because you can't find Jerusalem anywhere except on the land of Palestine. Alladhi barakna hawlahu. This mosque that we call Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, we encompass its surroundings with the blessings of we Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, indicating that everything around that mosque has been blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we did this for Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Linuriyahu min ayatina. For us, we Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to show him among our signs. So it is from here that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started showing Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam some signs that he has never seen, that he cannot even imagine, not talk of seeing them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, we asked him to come on this journey. We gave him a divine invitation that come, and when you are coming, you have to start your journey from where? From Masjid Al-Haram, and you travel down to Masjid Al-Aqsa, which we have already discussed how he went on this journey. As at the time we are talking about Al-Isra'i wal-Mihraj. All what happened, where he was, and how he started the journey with Buraq. We discussed all this. How Nabi Angel Gabriel came to him and took him on the journey we have explained all this. Allah is now telling us that that masjid that we ask him to go, Alladhi barakna awlahu, that there are a lot of blessings around the mosque. And not just within the precinct of the mosque alone. And we did this to show Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam some or a particular sign among our signs. Inna huwa sami'ul basir. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, me Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I'm the one that used to listen to all calls. And I see whatever you are doing. So whatever we are saying, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is hearing it. Whatever we are doing that you think so nobody is seeing you or nobody is seeing us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Anna Basir, I have my eyes, I have my internet, I have my cameras everywhere. I can capture you whatever you are doing anywhere. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us about the masjid. What do we mean by Al-Masjid Al-Haram? Haram here means what you can do outside this particular masjid in Makkah that you cannot do in that mosque. That is the meaning of the haram associated to this mosque. What you can do in another place, but you must not do it inside this precinct of this mosque, is what we call haram. So the reason why we call it Al-Masjidul Haram, Al-Masjidu Al-Haram, is because what you can do elsewhere and go scot-free, you cannot do it inside this Masjidul Haram. It's not permissible. And what are the instances of the things we can do that we must not do there that made it to become haram for us? One, you can't fight inside the Masjidul Haram. Two, you can't carry weapons into the Masjidul Haram. Three, if you see somebody that you have misunderstanding with for decades, and coincidentally you now met in Masjid Al-Haram, not even around Kaaba, in the perimeter wall of Masjid Al-Haram, you must not take vengeance. That I've been looking for him for the past 20 years. I have to take whatever belongs to me from him now. You now started assaulting him. You must not do that. Four, within the vicinity of Masjid Al-Haram, if you see an animal, maybe a bush, a grass cutter, all those bush animals that we used to go and hunt for, if you see them freely, moving freely, you must not hunt them, which you can do in any other masjid. If you see somebody you have misunderstanding with, maybe they have history of allegation towards your family, as I have mentioned, maybe somebody is owing you or what, you must not subject yourself to the extent that you now be exchanging blows. You must not fight in Masjid Al-Haram, and so other things like that. But you can do all this in other masjid. It doesn't mean that going to other masjids you now go and be exchanging blows with others. But in Masjid Al-Haram that we are talking about, is a taboo. You must not even do it. Don't even think of doing it. Not talk of executing it. I hope we are getting it. Now, Masjid Al-Haram in Makkah and Masjid Al-Haram in Medina, the Prophet Muhammed sallallahu alaihi wasallam masjid, are the one we call Haramain, the two harams. A question now is that this Masjid Al-Aqsa that we are talking about, is it among the Haramain? Technically, it's not among these two masjids. It's a sacred mosque as well, but its fadail is not as much as these two masajid, as we are going to hear from our discussion, inshallah. I hope we are getting it. So Masjid Al-Haram in Makkah was the masjid that was used as a starting point for the night journey of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to Masjid Al-Aqsa in Jerusalem. And what do we mean by Masjid Al-Aqsa? In this Masjid Al-Aqsa, it's like a complex. It's like a complex that was built by Abdul Malik ibn Marwan in the 4th century of the Hijrah of Prophet Muhammed sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the mosque that every one of us used to see, if you are looking at the Holy Mosque of Jerusalem, Masjid Al-Aqsa, that is not the exact Masjid Al-Aqsa. What we mean by Masjid Al-Aqsa, it encompasses all the features that are around that mosque. That particular mosque, it was narrated that that was the point where Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam stood and rode at the Buraq before he started the ascension to the heaven. So it was a particular hill that was located there, that was cited there by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that was from where Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam ascended to the heaven. So that particular mosque that you used to see in images, and those of you that you have visited that particular mosque, right, is called Masjidu Qubbatu Sahara. Al-Masjidu Qubbatu As-Sahara, the dome of the rock. It's an iconic structure that was built by Abu Malik ibn Marwan, who was among our Khulafa ur-Rashidun, among the leaders, among the Khalifa that ruled the Muslim kingdom. And the mosque was built maybe after 70 years. After the migration of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam from Makkah to Medina. You know, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam went to heaven while he was still in Makkah. He has not migrated to Medina. So, corroborating to the point that Abu Malik ibn Marwan was able to construct and build the mosque at the spot that was said that was where Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam took off from. I hope you are getting it. So what we mean by Al-Aqsa is like a perimeter fence that encompasses some other features. That is number 1. Masjidu Al-Qubbatu Sahara, the dome of the rock. Number 2, there is another mosque in that particular place called Masjidu Al-Qibli. Masjid Qibli was said to be the place where Khalifa Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu observed his prayer when he went to collect the key to Jerusalem. I've narrated it to us. There is no Nabiullah that never lived on that Palestinian land, except Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam also passed through there. Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salamullah lived there. Nabi Lut, he lived there. Nabi Shuaib, he lived there. On that same particular land that the Israelis are claiming now that is their own land. After Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam left that place, which I have narrated to us, he never came back because he escaped, because they wanted to kill him. Because the bishop of the past, they have told their disciples that a time is coming that somebody will come from the Arabian land and they are going to be the occupier of this land. Whenever he comes around, the wall clock, the bell that we have hung is going to fall down. And Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as at that time, he was still working with Sayyidatuna Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha. So he was going on a trip, on a business trip with Maisara. Maisara was the maid to whom? To Khadija. So on getting to this particular place, that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam stepped there, the bell that was hung, the bell fell. So the bishop around, they knew that the person that is going to inherit this land has come. So they were searching for him. They couldn't find him. It was Maisara that they held on to as a captive. They checked Maisara, they checked all her body, they couldn't see any feature that can identify to them that this is the person they are looking for. Because they knew they were two, but the other person has disappeared. Allah had asked Angel Gabriel to come and take Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam away. So not until when they finished the searching and they went around, they couldn't find Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they released Maisara. So Maisara finally located Nabi Muhammad. Nabi Muhammad now narrated to him that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Angel Gabriel to me to come and take me away from there, because if I stay long there, they are going to kill me, and the mission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not be fulfilled. So Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam never came back to that place till he died. Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala knew was unable to conquer Jerusalem. It was Umar radiallahu ta'ala knew. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was at the point of death, he sent battalion to go and conquer some Arabian Peninsula, including this Jerusalem. And the person that led them was Usama bin Zayd, Ibn Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know, Zayd ibn Haris was the adopted son of Rasulullah. So his own son was Usama. So Usama was like what? A grandson to Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not biologically, but theoretically, he was like a grandson. So Usama was the one that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam assigned to lead the contingent that we are going to Jerusalem to go and capture Jerusalem. Usama has not gone far when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam now died. So Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala knew, he withdrew them back. That you have to come back. We have a serious catastrophe that has befallen us. I hope you are following. Throughout the time of Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala, he was unable to conquer. It was during the time of Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu ta'ala that they were able to what? To conquer that place. Before they could conquer that place, it was like 5,000 Sahaba of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that died on that land. So Umar radiallahu ta'ala was able to do what? Was able to get back the key. Because the bishop, during the time of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they've already told their disciple that whenever anybody from this man comes, you should hand over the key, the document of this place, you should hand it over to them. And that was how Umar radiallahu ta'ala got back the what? The key and the authority to where? To Jerusalem. Indicating that the land belongs to who? It belongs to us, we the Muslims. Because it's our own land. Our Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has fought for it and he got it. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is on the same land that one very day, Umar radiallahu ta'ala knew. They were going for some of the futuhat, some of the liberation of the Arabian lands, to bring them on board, to accept Islam, and to be propagating the deen of Islam. As they were going, they were to cross a particular river. And Umar radiallahu ta'ala knew, he and one of his servants, they were riding just one donkey. The Amirul Mu'minin and his servant, they rode on one donkey. And the people that want to receive them, to give them a red carpet reception, they are on the other hand on the other side of the river bank. So when Umar radiallahu ta'ala crossed, he removed his tattered slippers, shoe that he wore. He carried it with his hand. Because him and the servant, they were sharing one donkey. So if Umar rode to a particular distance, he will come down, the servant will ride. Umar too will hold the donkey for him. So as they cross to the other bank of the river, the recipient of the visitor, they now say, is this not our Amirul Mu'minin that we are expecting? You are supposed to be in a very elegant regalia. You are supposed to be in a very exotic vehicle. Even this donkey you are riding is an obsolete donkey. It's not at your status that you are going to be riding this kind of thing. Umar radiallahu ta'ala now told them that we are servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that it was Islam, it is Islam. Nahnu qawmin azana Allahu bil Islam. Wa man ibtagayna ghayra al-Islam azana Allah. That we are people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has used Islam to polish our life. We are the group of people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has brought light into our life because of Islam. If now we are not serving the Islam, we want Islam to be serving us, we are not going to stay long in Islam and we are going to become people of yesterday. That the honor belongs to Islam, not we as an entity. That was what Umar radiallahu ta'ala said. But today, how many people can say this that Umar radiallahu ta'ala have said? That we should only look for the izzah of what? Of Islam, not our own personal izzah, not our own personal honor. It is on this land of Masjid Al-Aqsa that all this happened. Now, Al-Masjid, we all know what Masjid is. We have two types of Masjid. We have the Masjid of Jami'u and we have the Masjid of Rati. We have the Central Mosque and we have the Khamsu Salawat daily mosque. They only observe 5 daily prayers there. They don't observe Salatul Jummah there. This Salatul Jummah, this type of Central Mosque, we have another 5 different kinds, which I've mentioned towards the time we are talking about Masjid. I won't go there today. Masjid Al-Aqsa, I've explained what Masjid Al-Haram is to us. Masjid Al-Aqsa, Arabically, what we mean by Al-Aqsa is a far distance. Al-Aqsa is a far distance. So indicating that Masjid in Jerusalem is very far to where? To Masjid Al-Haram in where? In Makkah. Are we getting it? I'm trying to explain what Masjid Al-Aqsa is. I've talked about the Dome of the Rock, Masjid Al-Qibla Sahara. I'm talking about the Masjid Qibli. They call it Masjid Qibli or Masjid Umar. It's not far from Masjid Qibla Sahara. Inside this Masjid Al-Aqsa, that I said is like a perimeter fence that encompasses some other structure, is Musalli Al-Marwan. Musalli Al-Marwan is like Eid praying ground. That I said the person that built that Dome of the Rock Mosque, Masjid Qibla Sahara, where they used to pray, and Eid praying ground is where we call Al-Musalla. So Masjid Al-Musalli Al-Marwan, Abdul Malik ibn Marwan, where they used to pray the Eid prayers, is also within Masjid Al-Aqsa. Are we getting it? So I've mentioned 3 features now: Masjid Qibla Sahara, Masjid Qibli, and Al-Musalli Al-Marwan. So the wall, because it's a complex structure and they are iconic structures, the fence around all these structures is what we call Al-Aitu Al-Buraq. Al-Aitu Al-Buraq. Al-Buraq appeared there because it was from there. It is from there that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam rode Al-Buraq to where? To the heaven. So it is within that area that all the activity of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam concerning his ascension to the heaven, it is within that fence that it happened. So they encompass all those structures by naming it what? Al-Aitu Al-Buraq. Al-Buraq fence. So all these features are what we call Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. I hope you have gotten it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Min al-Masjid al-Harami ila al-Masjid al-Aqsa, from the Sacred Mosque, the one in Makkah, to the what? To the Masjid al-Aqsa in Jerusalem. And I've told us what is Al-Aqsa, a distance that is very far. Indicating that Al-Masjid al-Aqsa means mosque that is what? That is very far. Far from where? From Masjid al-Haram in Makkah. I hope you have gotten it. Now, this particular place we call Masjid al-Aqsa, we can also call it Al-Baytu al-Maqdis. Al-Baytu al-Maqdis means a blessed land. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had already told us that Allazi barakna awlahu, that this Masjid al-Aqsa, around it we have plenty of blessings, and part of the blessings around this masjid, around the vicinity of this masjid, is Sham. And where do we used to call Sham? Syria, Palestine. All this, we have like 5 countries then that were called Sham. But now all of them have been decimated into each country. So we don't have anything like Sham any longer because it has been splitted. So Syria is around Jerusalem, Palestine. Russia is around Palestine. Iraq is around Palestine. Egypt is around Palestine. Allah said, Allazi barakna awlahu. Around it, we bless all the futures, all the land around this Masjid Al-Aqsa. And I said we can call it another name. Al-Baytu Al-Maqdis. A blessed house, a blessed land. We are referring to this Masjid and we are referring to the Palestinian land. That is one. That is two. Number three, we can also call it Al-Baytul Muqaddas. The first one I said was Masjid Al-Aqsa. The second one I said Baytul Maqdis. This one now we can call it Al-Baytu Al-Muqaddas. A sacred land, a sacred house. As we are referring to the masjid, we'll be referring to the what? To the land. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the land, not only the masjid. So if we are talking about Masjid Al-Aqsa, we have talked about three things now. We have talked about the distance. It is from the distance that the name of Al-Aqsa is being generated and gave it to Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. We can also call it Al-Baytul Maqdis, a blessed land, a noble land, that the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is on it. We can also call it Al-Baytul Muqaddas, a land that is sacred. Apart from being blessed, it's also sacred. If you are talking about something being sacred, it's something that you can isolate from others. That you say this one is special. So that particular land that is housing Baytul Maqdis, that is housing Al-Baytul Muqaddas, that is housing Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, is a what? It's an isolated land that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed. And everything around it, Allah said, Barakna awlahu. I hope we are getting it. MashaAllah. So, Allah said this particular masjid that we are talking about, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when Allah ordained him to start observing his prayer, the first place he was observing prayers, the direction he was facing was where? The Jerusalem, this Baytul Maqdis. After Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked Prophet Muhammad to declare himself as a prophet at the age of 40. So Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam spent additional how many years in Makkah? He spent 13 years because he left Makkah at the age of 53. And he spent another years in Medina before his demise. How many years? 10 years. So for a good 23 years, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was facing where? Baytul Maqdis, Masjid Al-Aqsa, Baytul Muqaddas. Brothers, what condition can we be that will not allow us to face Al-Qibla? And if you observe our prayers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will definitely accept the prayers. There are some people that are exempted from facing Qibla, and we are living together with them today. Anywhere, wherever they face, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will surely accept their prayer. Who are they and on what condition? Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if time permits, I will come back. Who are those that are exempted from facing Masjid Al-Haram that we are asked to be facing now? Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he got to Medina. He was still facing where? Facing Baytul Maqdis. He faced Baytul Maqdis, this Masjid Al-Aqsa in Jerusalem, for 17 months. 17 months plus the 13 years. That is how many years? 14 years and 5 months. Right? He faced this Baytul Maqdis for 14 years and 5 months before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said what? Change from that Baytul Maqdis to where? To Masjid Al-Haram in Makkah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in Qur'an Chapter 2, Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 144. where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked him that you have to start changing your direction now. قَدْ نَرَى تَقَلُّبَ وَجْهِكَ فِي السَّمَاءِ. Oh, Ya Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, you have been facing the sama. The sama here means heaven, but tafsir wise, as-sama means heaven, al-ardu means earth. Here, it is indicating that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was facing Baytul Maqdis. قَدْ نَرَى تَقَلُّبَكَ وَجْهِكَ فِي السَّمَاءِ. We Allah, we have seen you that you are facing Baytul Maqdis. فَلَنُوَلِّيَنَّكَ قِبْلَةً تَرْضَاهَا. And we are pleased with where you are facing. Allah is still talking to him as at the time he was facing Jerusalem. Now, the commandment now come. فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ شَطْرَ Masjid Al-Haram. Now as I'm talking to you, turn and start facing Masjid Al-Haram. Where? In Makkah. In the seerah of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it was narrated that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was observing Salatul Subuhi. It was after Salatul Subuhi that this verse was revealed. So this verse is a Madani verse. You know, we have three types of revelations. We have Makki, those that were revealed in Makkah, the verses or chapters, and we have Madani, those that were revealed in Medina. And there are some chapters in the Holy Quran that some part of them were revealed in Makkah and part of them were revealed in Medina, and they were collaborated together and they became a chapter. So we have three kinds of revelations concerning the revelation of the Quran: the revelation of Makkah, the revelation of Medina, and the adjournment of the Makkah and Medina chapters. But this one was revealed to Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Medina. I hope you are following. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, we are pleased with where you are facing. But now, فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ شَطْرَ Masjid Al-Haram. Start facing Masjid Al-Haram. Authentically, after the Salatul Subuhi was when this verse was revealed. So when it was the time of Salatul Zuhr, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam obey what? Obey this commandment of don't face Jerusalem again. I hope you are following me. There is another seerah, another story of Nabi Muhammad concerning Qibla like this. He said, among the people that observed prayer with Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as he was going, he got to a particular community. They were still observing their Salatul Subuhi. You know, all of us, we cannot start prayer at the same time. We can't finish at the same time. Even if we start at the same time, our 1 o'clock in our Masjid cannot, the 5 o'clock cannot be the same 5 o'clock. Some 1 second, 2 minutes, will be more than the other one in other mosques. All of us cannot start something at the same time, except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So one of the companions that already observed Salatul Subuhi behind Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as he was going, he now got to a community, he now made them, they were still observing their what? Their Salatul Subuhi. He now told them that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had told Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he should not face Jerusalem again. They now narrated that immediately they had that, they were praying, they now turned while they were still praying Salatul Subuhi. Wallahu ta'ala alam, but to me, that narration must be a weak narration. That of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that they observe it facing Baitul Maqdis, and the riwayah was, and the revelation was revealed after Salatul Subuhi. And during Salatul Zuhr, they need to face Masjid Al-Haram. I think that one is what we should take. I hope you are following me. So that masjid, that incident happened, is the masjid we call Masjid Al-Qibla in Medina. It's not far from Jamia to Medina. It's not far from Masjid Nabi Medina University. It's on Khalid bin Walid Road. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless every one of us. So when you go for ziyarah in Medina, either you go for Umrah or you go for Hajj. If they are taking you out for tourist whatever, they will take you to Masjid Al-Qibla. That means the masjid that has two directions. just like the Masjid al-Namira in Arafah. Masjid al-Namira in Arafah, the front where the Imam is, because Arafah is like maybe like it's a very wide place. I don't want to quote wrong figure. The square meter of that area. So unfortunately, according to what we read and what I see, Masjid al-Namira in Arafah, where the Imam, the Khatib, is going to give the khutbah of the Yom al-Arafah, where students, the chief Imam of Saudi Arabia, will stay and do khutbah for the Ujjaj, so that all of you make your intention and that very day you become Alaji and Alaja. That masjid, part of it, precisely the front, is outside the boundary of Arafah. So from the middle of the mosque to the back, it is that part that falls into the precinct of Arafah. So they used to say, if immediately you finish your prayer, you should immediately leave. Or you don't allow the sunset to meet you there. You leave the front of the masjid and move towards the back. Because if you are there to sunset, you don't have your Arafah. Best known to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is what I saw and what I read. That the front where the Imam is not even the perimeter fence of Arafah. Because everywhere in Mina is not Arafah. It has its own designated place that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Min una ila una, min una ila una. These are the what? These are the boundary of Arafah. Anything outside that, you are not in Arafah. So this Masjid Qiblatain, immediately they change the direction. So when you go there now, you won't see the Qibla that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was facing to the direction of where? Jerusalem. Prepare to mark this. The only direction you are going to see is the direction facing Masjid Al-Haram in Makkah. I hope we are getting it. So we've understood what is Masjid Al-Aqsa. We've understood what is Baitul Maqdis. We've understood Baitul Al-Muqaddas. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as he had instructed Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to change the direction, we see it in Surah Al-Baqarah, Qur'an Chapter 2, verse 144. Allah now said, وَأَيْسُمَا كُنْتُمْ فَوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ شَطْرَهُ. Wherever you are, even if you are in the desert, you should ensure to find the direction of where? Of Masjid Al-Haram. وَأَيْسُمَا كُنْتُمْ, wherever you are, فَوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ, ensure that you turn your face شَطْرَهُ, direction of Masjid Al-Haram. وَإِنَّ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ لَيَعْلَمُونَ أَنَّهُ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّهِمْ. Those that we have given the scriptures in the past, either the Jews or the Christians, and those that disbelieve in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I didn't mean they believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they will have been among the people that they will have been rightly guided. And Allah said, وَمَا اللَّهُ بِغَافِلٍ عَمَّا يَعْمَلُونَ. Everything that we are doing, me Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I'm not a novice about it. So if you get to a place that you don't have a compass to change the direction, you don't have a GPS to change the direction of where is the Qibla, you now say, I can't disturb myself, let me just face anyway. Allah said, I know. You must struggle to search for the Qibla. At the end of the day, if there is no guidance, you don't have any technological device, you don't see anybody around you to tell you, Malam Zaradin, this is your Qibla direction, right? Wherever you now face, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I will accept your prayer, but you must search for it. That's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala changed the direction of Baitul Maqdis to Masjid Al-Haram from Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, this particular land, we have all understood the Masjid Al-Aqsa. This particular land that is housing Masjid Al-Aqsa, Allah said, وَنَجَّيْنَا وَلُوتًا. Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salamullah, he wasn't an Arab, and we used to call him the grandfather of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How? And he lived on that land. Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salamullah is from a particular village in Iraq that we call Hur, H-U-R. Hur. That is where Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam came from. He settled in Palestine, in Beit al-Khalil, in the West Bank, Fatul Garbiya. That is where Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Nabi Ibrahim settled. Up to today, people are still living there. We call it Madinatul Khalil or Baitul Khalil. That is where Nabi Ibrahim lived. Till today, they are still fighting there till today. The way they are fighting in Gaza. But on getting there, Nabi Ibrahim alayhi met Nabi Lut. And he was already with his wife Hajara. So it was on that land of this Palestine, when his family, his family members, his father, all of them, Azara, they were worshipping idols. He now said, I'm going to leave you people and go to where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not punish me. Because if I'm in your midst like this, I don't know what Allah is going to do to me. Because they keep on worshipping idols. And he kept on telling them about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَأَعْتَزِلُكُمْ وَمَا تَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ in Surah Maryam. I'm going to go away from you people. So when he left Iraq, he came to that land. He came with his wife, Hajara. On getting there, that was where they gave him Sarah. And Sarah was the daughter of whom? Nabi Lut. And Nabi Lut was an Arab. I hope you are following me. Nabi Lut, alayhi salamullah, was existing on that land. He was the father to Sarah. Sarah was the mother to Nabi Ismaila. So when she became pregnant, or when she delivered, Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salamullah, he took Zahra and Ismail, he took them to Masjid al-Haram in Makkah. Left with him with who? Ajara. Ajara was the one that gave birth to Isiaka. Isiaka was the one that gave birth to Yakubu. And Yakubu is the grandfather of where? Nabi Banu Israila. Yakubu is whom? Israelu. And it's from him that gave birth to the 12 that all the Banu Israila now came out from, including all these Israelis. We have talked about this extensively. I won't go back to that. I hope you are following me. Trying to establish the nobility on this particular Palestinian land and to ascertain with our knowledge and to our understanding that this land belongs to us, and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said we are going to get this land, we are going to see it from Qur'an. So all what they are doing are just shenanigans. At the end of the day, it will become our land. We are going to see, Allah said it clearly in the Holy Quran. Allah now said, Nabi Ibrahim, وَنَجَيْنَاهُ, we saved him. That was Ibrahim. Walutan, and Luta, ila al-ardi, to the land, allazi barakina fiha lil alamin, to the land that we Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala we are benedicted for all the mankind. Which land is Allah referring to? It's the land of this Palestine. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be talking about something in the Holy Quran, is it a mere book? Who was there when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was saying this? Allah did not consult anybody, and is not going to consult anybody in taking his decision. So this land is a blessed land. We have read in Surah Al-Isra at the inception of this khutbah that Allah said everything around that masjid, on that land, and the neighboring countries, they are what? They are blessed. If something around is just like a river or like a well, if the vegetation around the well, if they are dried up, that means the well is not a blessed well. Regia. But if they are greenish, they are luscious, that means the water in the well is a blessed well, indicating that every one of us, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed us in a particular position, and nobody in our family member, nobody in our neighborhood has been able to tap from our success, that means your success is also a failure. Or it should not really. Allah placed you somewhere, gave you the opportunity that 5,000 of people that are better than you couldn't get it, that are better than you in all ramifications. Allah denied them and He gave you. You are now on that position, you are now on that throne, you are now on that seat. You cannot even count 1, 2 people from your family, or your neighborhood, or in your masjid, or in your community that, while we were there, these are the people that we had. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, this land of this Palestine, Barakna fi alil alamin, I placed my blessing on this land for all the mankind that will be residing there. Sooner or later, all the Bani Israel that are humiliating our people, that are killing our people, they will soon leave. Because if you go back to the 8th week back lecture, when we started this issue of this Bani Israel, that we talk about who owns Palestinian land. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had already said, Yatiuna fil ardi arba'ina sanatan. These Bani Israel, they will never have an established base, and they will be wandering on the earth up and down for good 40 years. Not the 40 years we are using here. I did the mathematical calculation for us. So sooner or later, they are going to leave this land for us, but they might have caused a lot of havoc that we are experiencing till today. They've killed almost 20,000 Palestinians on that their land. You will see a mother carrying a baby like this that has been killed. You will see a father that is lying beside his daughter that has been killed. You will see a husband lying beside his wife that has been killed. With injustice, with inhumanity. And the world leaders, without their own sensitivity, they are looking without anything to support the Palestinians, including our Arabs. How many of the Arabian countries can we testify, can we ascertain that have supported our Muslim brothers? I was reading something this morning that if you carry Palestinian flag in Saudi Arabia, you will be arrested. This land is our land. Allah said, Barakna fi alil alamin. So Allah said in Surah Al-Anbiya again, Walaqad katabna fi Zubur. Allah said we are mentioned in Zabura, and Zabura belongs to whom? The scripture we gave Nabiyuna Dawuda alayhi salamullah. Taurat, the Torah for Nabiyuna Musa. Injil for Nabiyuna Isa. Zabur for Nabiyuna Daud. Al-Qur'an Al-Karim for Nabiyuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah said, Walaqad katabna fi Zubur. We have already written in Torah and in Zabur. Min ba'di zikr. After we have mentioned to them, we have told them, as we have mentioned in Al-Quran. We mentioned Al-Quran, but we have already mentioned in Zabur, because Zabur came before Al-Quran. Nabiyuna Dawud came before Nabiyuna Muhammad. Nabiyuna Dawud lived on this land. Where was Benjamin Netanyahu? The one supporting them in America. Where was he? Trump, that said that all the Arab country that is around Jerusalem, Egypt, Syria, Jordan, they should come together, that they are going to take part of their land and give it to, they will evacuate the Palestinians and give it to and give these collected parcels of land. They will now establish the Palestinians on that particular land. Where were they when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was talking about this? They are all just following the figment of legends, figment of imaginations. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, we Allah, after we have mentioned in Quran, that we have already mentioned in Zabur, Al-Arda, that this particular Palestinian land, Yerusua Ibadiya Soliun, our righteous servants are the ones that are going to inherit it. That I was telling you. Allah said, our own righteous servants. So those that are not righteous are these Israelis that are killing our people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to expel them out. Insha'Allah bi-qudratillah. Anna al-arda yuriswa ibadiya solihin. So among we the Muslims, the righteous ones amongst us are the ones that will inherit this particular land of Palestine. Allah mentioned that. So, part of the blessing on this land, Allah said, Washajaratan, a particular tree, Tahruju min turi Sayna. This particular tree, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, some futures will be coming out from these trees that are being blessed. And where is the tree? The tree is in Sayna, in Turi Sina. And this Turi Sina is in Syria, very close to Egypt, in between the border of Egypt and Syria. And that is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to communicate on a particular mountain, Watini, Wazaituni, Waturi, Sini, Wa'az al-Baladi al-Amin. Wa'az al-Baladi al-Amin that we are talking about is this, not Makkah. Because Turi Sina is not in Makkah. It is on this mountain of Sinai that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to communicate to Nabiyuna Musa alayhi salamullah. Akallama Musa taklima. That is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, bila wasita, Musa, Allah doesn't send any angel to Musa, he communicates with him directly. Fine, he used to communicate through Angel Gabriel to Nabiyuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But there are some instances that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not send Angel Gabriel to Nabiyuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he will communicate to him. That is what we know as Hadisi and Qudsi. But Nabiyuna Musa, bila wasita, no any intermediary between him and Allah. Allah talks to him directly. This particular Mountain Sinai is on what? Is on this land, very close to Palestine. Allah said, this particular tree that we are talking, Shajaratan, this particular tree that is around the vicinity of the Mountain Sinai, Tambu to be Dohuni, olive oil. Olive oil will be coming out from this tree, and before an olive tree will germinate, to the extent that it will now be producing the olive oil, it will spend 20 years before an olive tree will germinate. See, since when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have said this, and trees are still there up to today. Wastibugin lil akilin, this olive tree, this olive oil that will be coming from the tree beside the what? The Mountain Sinai. After the production of the olive oil, and we all know the blessing that is associated with olive oil, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam even told us, inside is Tibbun Nabawi, prophetic medicine, that olive oil can heal every sickness except al-hurmu wal-maut, except old age and what? And death. Olive oil is very powerful. So olive oil is part of the product of what? Of the tree beside the Mountain Sinai. Apart from that, Wastibugin and other sources of substances that were not mentioned here, olive oil and other sources, they'll actually it will be there for people that will be consuming. Allah said this tree is on the land that we have blessed, and the land is around the blessed land of where? Of Palestine. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in Surah Al-Mu'minun again concerning Nabiyuna Sayyidatuna Maryam. We have cleared this, and I want to believe every one of us we've understood before now that Sayyidatuna Maryam wasn't a prophet. That's why the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Angel Gabriel to her. We don't have any female prophetess. We only have male prophets. Allah sent to the mother of Nabiyuna Musa alayhi salamullah when he wanted her to go and breastfeed Nabiyuna Musa in the palace of whom? Pharaoh. So sending Angel Gabriel to her to communicate with her, does that qualify as a prophet? La, wala aliful la. So we don't have any female prophetess. Theologically in Islam we don't have. So we should continue to have this at the back of our mind. But we have some other religion. You see them on their billboard, prophet and prophetess, so. Prophet, they come from USA to come and do crusade here. We in Islam, we don't have, and we are not going to have a time on Qiyamah. So we should not have that belief. And there is no any other prophet that will come. Yati bin badi ismu wa amadu falamma jaa bil bayyinati qalu hadha sihrun mubin. Nabi Isa alayhi salam had already said, it is only Prophet Muhammad that will come after me. And when he comes with the Holy Scripture, they will say that he came with a magic. And after him, no any other prophet will come. The only prophet that will come after Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is Nabi Isa, because he has not died. He was taken away to the heaven at the age of 33. He's coming back. And where is going to come and fight? He's coming back to this Palestinian land. Nabi Isa, Jesus Christ, that is coming back, is coming to this Palestinian. He's going to spend another 40 years. He's going to marry. He's going to produce children, inshallah. He's going to live the fulfilled life that Allah has destined for him right from day one. He now died. And before he died, he's going to fight Yajuja wa Majuj on this same land. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now said, وَجَعَلْنَا ibnu Maryam. We established Ibn Maryam. And who was Ibn Maryam? Jesus. Wa ummahu, and his mother. Ayatan. We made them to be signs. Jesus Christ was a sign because he was produced without a father. Sayyidatuna Maryam was a sign because she conceived without any male copulating with her. Are they not signs? Allahumma ij'alna ayatan mubarakatan alal ard. May Allah make us good signs on the earth. Allah made them signs. Wa waynahuma ila rabwati zati qararin wa ma'in. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, after making them to be signs, we now ask them to move towards a particular location that we, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will have blessed that particular location. Where Sayyidatuna Maryam gave birth to Nabiyuna Isa alayhi salamullah was on this same Palestinian land in Jerusalem. I hope that one is not in a state of ambiguity. We all understood that. In Bethlehem, in West Bank of Palestine, after Gaza, you see Jufa to Garbiya like this. That is where we have Bethlehem, that all the Christians used to go, that we are going to Jerusalem, that we are going to Bethlehem. Beitul Lahem means Beitul Lahami, the house of animal. Bethlehem, it was Beitu that they turned to Bet. Lahami is what they turned to Lahami. Bethlehem, the house of animal. That was where they gave birth to Nabi Isa alayhi salamullah. You have been seeing all the numbers of prophets that we have been mentioning their name that existed on this land. So we will not take the land from us. And Allah already mentioned to us, in Al-Arda Yurusua Ibadiya As-Solihu. We are going to inherit it, inshallah. So it is on this same blessed land, on this same land that Nabi Isa alayhi salamullah was giving birth to. Is the land blessed or not? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned again in Surah As-Sabai, Qur'an Chapter 34 verse 18. وَجَعَلْنَا بَيْنَهُمْ وَبَيْنَ الْقُرَى الَّذِي بَرَكْنَا فِيهَا قُرًى. Allah said, we place in between two communities, Al-Qura, a nation. Let me say nation instead of community. الَّذِي بَرَكْنَا فِيهَا, that on a particular land, بَرَكْنَا فِيهَا, we have established our blessing. Blessing is not something we should take with levity hand. The blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is far better, is far beyond what we can comprehend. Because if the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is shared with you, is given to you, you will work for it. Allah will bless you beyond what you have worked for. That's why you see some malams, especially in Yoruba land like this. They be saying, "Iṣẹ́ àṣẹlẹ̀ àwọn bàbá wọn ni kí ó lè yín ṣe kún tẹ́ bá jẹ tàwọn bàbá tí yín tán kí ló kù táwọn ọmọ tí yín ó jẹ." They will say their father has worked for them. So also maybe those that their fathers are not malams, they are not this. You see some influential people, they have worked. Anything poverty can never afflict them any longer. The 4-5 generations, they have worked the work of 4-5 generations. They have worked it and it's there. It's just for their children to be coming and be milking the resources of their great-grandfather. But you, that you have that kind of opportunity, what are you two doing to contribute to the dynasty so that the empire will not collapse on your head? Iṣẹ́ àwọn bàbá yín lè dé. Kí ni wọ́n ń ṣe kí lọ́mọ tí ó dé bá? Ẹ̀yẹ níjẹkújẹ. Táwọn bàbá tí yóò bá ṣiṣẹ́ ni ẹ̀yẹ ó dé bá nǹkan kan. Àṣekúnlé yẹn máa ń ṣe. Allah said, وَجَعَلْنَا بَيْنَهُمْ وَبَيْنَ الْقُرَى, in between two these nations, that is Palestine, and the surrounding nations around Palestine. Barakna fiha qura, we bless this land. Zohiratan, and the blessings are what? They are obvious. Waqaddanna fiha sayran, and we ask that all of you traverse on the land. Go to anywhere you can go and see what we, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have done. Siru fiha layaliya wa ayaman aminin. Continue traveling on the land, because we've established tranquility for you people on the land. Continue. You the Palestinians, continue. You the people residing residing in Beit Khalid, continue. Those of you residing in Ramallah, continue. Those of you residing in Hebron, continue. We have established tranquility for you people that you are residing there, and wherever you want to go, continue going. We Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are there for you. These are some of the little verses that we can bring for us concerning this Baitul Maqdis and the Adil Palestine. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept this as an act of ibadah. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi ya ayyuhallazina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala man la nabiyya ba'da. We give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has spared our life till this moment. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to accept this as an act of ibadah. I will quickly rush this because I don't want to take much of our time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he was asked. Abu Dhar Al-Gifar was a staunch companion of Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I've talked about him several times. Who was Abu Dhar Al-Gifar? Abu Dhar Al-Gifar was the companion that when the Nabiuna Muhammad, another companion, had already left Medina for Ghazwa to Tabuk, the fourth fierce battle that was fought. We all know all the battles we have fought, right? We know that of Badr. We know that of Uhud. We know that of Kandar. The another one that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that was severe was Ghazwa to Tabuk or Ghazwa to Usra. Battle of difficulty because they don't have enough sustainer. They don't have enough provision. So when they left Medina, Abu Dhar Al-Gifari couldn't live with Nabiuna Muhammad and the contingent that left. I hope you are following. I'm narrating this so that any day we are talking about the Sahabatul Rasul, the companion of Prophet Muhammad, I might not talk about Abu Dhar Al-Gifari again. I might not take it as a topic. So Abu Dhar Al-Gifari was now coming. The Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam are already on the Tabuk plain, where they are waiting for the enemies so that they can start the battle. As Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam looked back, he said, how I wish, I want to believe that that person coming from that direction should be Abu Dhar Al-Gifari. As he was approaching, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was overwhelmed that the blessing of this particular battle will not escape Abu Dhar Al-Gifari because he was a good and dedicated, a staunch companion of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he came from a community that the activity they used to do in that community is armed robbery. For him to have isolated himself single-handedly and go and accept Islam, so Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has a platonic love for Abu Dhar Al-Gifari. So as he was coming, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was overwhelmed. And I said, Ya Abu Dhar Al-Gifari, yamshi wahdahu, wa yamutu wahdahu, wa yub'asu wahdahu. That Abu Dhar Al-Gifari, is the only one that is coming. And the day that he's going to die, it's only him that is going to die. He will walk alone. The day he's going to die, he won't have any companion around him. And he's going to die alone. And he's the only one that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will raise alone. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The day Abu Dhar Al-Gifari will die. He has a wife and he has a daughter. But he never died inside the community. He died along the alignment of the road. Inside and isolated. Don't let me say inside the desert. That nobody is going, nobody is coming, nobody is passing. So the wife was running up and down. Who helped me to come and do the janaiza of my husband? All of a sudden, they just saw a contingent coming, a group of people coming, and the person that led that group of people was Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. Sahibun alayhi Nabiyuna Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So it was Abdullah ibn Mas'ud that now performed the funeral rite, performed the Salatul Janaza. Then they were just on their own journey. They didn't know that Abu Dhar Al-Gifari is somewhere there. So it was opportune to bury Abu Dhar Al-Gifar. So Abu Dhar Al-Gifar, he was one that asked Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam concerning this Masjid Al-Aqsa in Jerusalem and Masjid Al-Haram in Makkah, that which of the mosque is the first mosque on the earth? Abu Dhar Al-Gifari, Ayu Masjid Udiya al-Ardi awalan. He asked Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which mosque was the first mosque that was established on the earth? Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Masjidu al-Haram. The mosque in Makkah is the first mosque. Qala summa ayyu. Abu Dhar Al-Gifari now asked Prophet Muhammad, after that, which mosque is the next mosque that was established on the earth after the Masjidu al-Haram? Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Al-Masjidu al-Aqsa, the mosque in Jerusalem, is the next mosque, indicating that that mosque senior the mosque of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in where? In Medina. I hope you are following me. It's an authentic hadith. Qultu, Abu Dhar Al-Gifari, you know these companions, majority of them are intelligent people. They continue to be probing their master so that they can get to the root source. So that the information they have gathered from their master will not be a half-baked information that they will sell to the populace. Let me tell us something. Imam Bukhari, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he was going from Anas bin Malik, not Sahih, not Imam Bukhari. This hadith I want to talk about is in Sahih Bukhari, narrated by Anas bin Malik. He was going from one malam to one malam to one malam to go and compile hadith. Anas bin Malik used to be a steward in the house of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because when Rasul got to Medina, everybody were giving him something. Abu Ayyub al-Ansari was the landlord of Nabi. It was in his house that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam stayed. So the mother of Anas bin Malik, she didn't have anything to give to Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a gift. That our noble visitor, this is what I have to give you as an ampa or whatever. The only thing she did was she went and picked her son, and Anas bin Malik was very young then, and his father was not around. So it was him at that very tender age that the mother now took to Nabi Muhammad, that I'm giving you this as my own contribution, this boy should be serving you like a house head. That is why you see Yoruba land in those days. Some of our fathers, some of our ancestors, mo gbin lomo yi, mo gbin oku ataye re, mo gbin afa oni oku ataye omo kankan won nisin. With his life, with his death, I dash you. Abulisi Yoruba wa ta che yaro na mala na baka the duniya se the lions na baka kyauta. Da kenan. Yanzu gbogbo afa lo ti wake up. Ti won ka jomo sile ke o ti won ni weyin wo. Ti ya ja afa yo mo jomo le ke o. Anas bin Malik was now in search of hadith one very day. He now got to one malam to collect the hadith of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He now saw the malam. He was teasing an animal, like you want to catch an animal, you want to catch a monkey now. What will you extend to the monkey? Banana, come like this. And this malam is a reputable malam. Just because of this attitude, all the ideas that Anas bin Malik has collected, he threw it away. He threw them away. He said for him to have been deceiving animal like this, I'm doubting all the ideas that I have collected. He threw between 500 or 1,000, because the malam is an alim that has gathered a countable number of hadiths. He threw all the hadiths away. You to be deceiving me and you, how many of our fellow human beings that we have deceived? He was just teasing an animal. He threw away all the hadiths. Now let's come back to Abu Dhar Al-Gifari. He now asked that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, kam kana bainahuma, how many years is in between the Makkah Masjid and that of Baitul Maqdis and that of the mosque in Jerusalem? I've explained to us that particular mosque that you are seeing, those of us that we are not here at the inception, that you used to see in videos, you used to see that Baitul Maqdis. It's not that mosque precisely that is Masjid Al-Aqsa. That masjid I used to see is called Al-Masjidu Qubbatu Sahara, the dome of the rock, that was built by Abdul Malik ibn Marwan. So there are other structures inside a perimeter fence, Ayatul Buraq. That is what we call Al-Masjidu Al-Aqsa. For those of us that we just came. Because inside there, we have another masjid called Al-Masjidu Al-Qibli, or Al-Masjidu Umar, where Umar radiallahu ta'ala prayed when he went to Jerusalem. I've explained all this at the beginning. So, Abu Dhar Al-Gifar now asked Nabi Muhammad that in between Makkah Masjid and that of the Jerusalem, the Masjid Al-Aqsa, what is the difference in their age? Faqala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam arba'una sadatan. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the Makkah Masjid senior the one in Jerusalem with what? 40 years. Faqala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Aynama adirakatika salata ba'du fasalla fihi. Wherever you are inside this precinct of this Masjid Al-Aqsa, you should do what? You should observe your salat. I hope you have gotten this. So in between the Masjid of Makkah, where we have the Kaaba, and this Palestinian land that they are killing our Muslim brothers and sisters and children and fathers now, the Masjid there, the interval of their construction is what? Is 40 years. And again, this Masjid Al-Haram in Makkah was not built by Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salamullah. It was renovation that he did. Let's go to Surah Al-Anbiya, where Nabi Ibrahim told Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ibrahim qawa'ida min al-bayt. He just raised. Yarifa'u, Rafi'u is to raise, to elevate, indicating that there was an existing foundation that was built by the angels. And they used 5 different types of rocks to build the foundation of Kaaba till today. That Kaaba that you are seeing is sitting on 5 different rocks as foundation, and it was not cemented. No concrete, no cement. How they did it that day, Allah Ta'ala Alam. So it was on that existing foundation that Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salamullah erected his own structure. So the first builder, the first civil engineer, the first structural engineers, the first architects that built Kaaba, they were the angels. So that building of Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salamullah to the building of Masjid Al-Aqsa in Baitul Maqdis, we have 40 years interval in between them. Then who built the original Masjid there before Malik ibn Marwan? Abdul Malik ibn Marwan. That will be another day. Maimuna, one of our mothers, said, Qalat ya Rasulullah, Aftina fi Baitul Maqdis, give us fatwa, share with us some knowledge concerning Baitul Maqdis. Faqala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, that particular land of Masjid Al-Aqsa that we are talking about, this particular land of Palestine, who are Al-Ardul Anbiya, is the land of all the prophets. I've mentioned majority of the prophets that existed on that land. There is no prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not pass through that place and live on that land, except Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but he has a landmark. Nabi Muhammad didn't keep quiet. He now told Maimuna, among his wives that are among our Ummatul Mu'minin, he now told her that particular Ardul Anbiya, number 1, who are Al-Mashar, Ardul Mashar, is the land that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to gather all of us after our demise. So whoever they bury in Kaduna, the one they bury in Jamaica, the one they bury in Makkah, and the one they bury inside water here, inside Lagoon between Ekpe and Ibeduleki here, all of us, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to raise every one of us, is on that same Palestinian land. Wal Maisar, and that is where our accountability will be exercised. So the land belongs to us, it doesn't belong to us. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that فَإِنَّ صَلَاةَ فِيهِ, and pray on that land. He was telling our mother Maimuna, كَالِفِ الصَّلَاةِ فِي غَيْرِ, is just equivalent to praying 1,000 prayers as outside that particular place. What is the reward of praying in Makkah? Masjid. You know, we are saying Makkah Masjid, we are referring to Masjid Al-Haram. Because before you even enter Masjid Al-Haram, you see a countable number of Masajid. So if you are observing your salat, or any of the salat you observe inside the masjid that is housing Kaaba, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give you 100,000 rewards. If you are observing, or you observe, or you have observed any of your salat in Masjid Al-Aqsa in Jerusalem, you will be rewarded with 1,000 reward. And if you observe any of your salat in Masjid Nabi in Medina, you'll be rewarded with what? 500 reward. From 100,000 to 1,000. From 1,000 to 500. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said we should try as much as possible to visit there and go and observe our salawat. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the opportunity before we die, so that every one of us can go there. Inshallah, time is fast spent, and I have a lot of hadiths. Maybe we continue from there next week. Wala hawla wala quwwata illa billah. Yanwa, abinda muka yi magana akan shi a tarkace shine batun masallacin mu na uku yana can akan Palestinian a inda ake ta yaki yanzu. Allah ya gaya mana a cikin suratu Al-Izra'i sura na 17 aya na farko. Allah ya ce ni ne na ba da izini, na ba da dama mun zo na annabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Na ce Jibrilu, mala'ikatu Jibril ya je ya dauke shi daga gidansa a Makka su zo masallaci da yake akwai Kaaba, ya zo gurina, ya je can Baitul Maqdis inda ana ta yaki yanzu a Palestine, domin ina so nuna masa wayansu ayoyi da yake shi ma bai taba yin tunani a kansu ba, kuma bai taba gansu ba. Abinda mutum bai yi tunaninsa ba, ai da wuya ya mazo ya same su. Allah ya ce kuma masallacin nan, Masjid Al-Aqsa din nan yana da albarka da yawa, kuma a tsakaninsa akwai filaye da yake suna da albarka. Ai mutum yana da albarka da girma Allah, duk abin da yana tsakaninka da suka kai wa yaka su ma za su kiyaye cikin albarkanka. Amma duk wanda Allah ya ba matsayi, Allah ya ba shi daraja, Allah ya ba shi iko, Allah ya ba shi makama, ko kuma mutane da sun zagaya shi, albarkacin jikinsa bai je gurin su ba, shi ma albarkan banza ne gare shi. Kamar rigiya ne a ce da vegetation, ciyawa tsakanin rigiya yana da ruwa ko kuma gashi ciyawa ne dukansu sun mutu. Ai rigiya ne ba ta da albarka. Ko wani kogo ko wani rafi, duk rafi da muka gani ga ciyawa tsakaninta, in ba wai ciyawa da tana da sanyi bane, rafin nan ne ba ta da albarka. Duk kowa a cikinmu da Allah ya ba mu matsayi, in mutanenmu, iyalinmu ba su ci albarkacinmu ba, mutane makaucinmu ba su ci albarkacinmu ba, wajen aikinmu wanda muka fi a cikin matsayi ba su ci albarkacinmu ba, mu ma albarkacin Allah bai sa albarka ba. So Allah ya ce masallacin nan ko kuma filin Falastin din nan yana da albarka, kuma garuruka, kasashe da suna kasanin Falastin din nan, muna da Syria, muna da Russia, muna da Jordan, muna da Lebanon, muna da Egypt. Dukansu Allah ya ce albarkacin Falastin inda ake fada yau, ko albarkacin gurin ma zai je guraren nan. To sai muka ce Al-Aqsa, Masjid Al-Aqsa wani katanga ne. A cikin katangan nan akwai wani masallaci ana ce mata Masjid Kubatu Sahara, kuma akwai wani masallaci a cikin katangan nan ana ce mata Masjid Al-Qibli. A gurin ne Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu ya yi sallah. Inda muna da Masjid Kubatu Sahara, an ce daga gurin nan shine manzo Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam ya tashi ya je sama, ya je karbi sallolin mu. To a cikin katangan nan akwai inda ana sallah Idi, musalli al-Marwan. So katangan nan da ya zagaya duk guraren kudin nan da na fada, su ne muke ce al-Masjidu al-Aqsa. An gane ko? To sai aka tambayi manzo Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, an ce wanne ne a cikin masallatin mu? Domin Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam ya ce muna son mu yi tafiya, mu je gurare guda uku.
in mun je gurare guda uku din nan Allah zai ba mu ladan ziyara. Sai suka tambaye shi ina ne? Ya ce na farko masallacin Makka, na biyu masallacin Madina, na uku masallacin Palestine din nan. In ka kwashe tarkacenka ce za ka yi tafiya kana so inda ka je a baka lada, ba wani guri da za ka taba zuwa in ba wai gurare guda uku din nan. Sai Abu Dhar Al-Gifar wani a cikin sahabansa sai tambaye shi ce manzo da Allah wani masallaci ne na farko akan kasar nan? Sai ya musu ce wai masallaci na Makka ne. Bayan wannan fa sai na Madina, sai na Jerusalem na Palestine. Sai aka tambaye shi tsakanin na Palestine da na Makka shekara nawa ne na tsakanin su? Tunda kace na farko shine na Makka, sai ya musu ce wai shekara 40. Akwai wasu maganganu da ya kamata yi magana nan. Waye ne na farko da ya gina masallacin na Palestine din nan? Annabi Ibrahim ne, Annabi Sulaiman ne, ko dan Annabi Ibrahim? Ya kamata mu yi magana akan shekara 40 din nan, amma lokaci ya kure. Allah ya samu dace. Insha Allah sati mai zuwa za mu ci gaba. Allah kai mu sati mai zuwa. Inna Allah ya'murukum bil adli wal ihsan wa ita'i zil qurba wa yanha 'anil fahsha'i wal munkar wal baghi ya'izukum la'allakum tadhakkarun. Just because of time constraint, we didn't start on time really. And concerning the history of this annihilation that is happening on this Palestinian land that we started discussing. We started our discussions in 1915 thereabout, and we stopped at 1956 last year. And how our people are being persecuted. We started all this discussion and we stopped at 1956, which I'm supposed to continue today, but the time is no more there. Biqudratillahi ta'ala will continue. So that we see all what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said in the Holy Quran, it will surely come to pass. And all those that are killing now, they are attaining state of martyrdom. Wa inna Allah la yudi'u ajra al-muhsinin. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala heal all our brothers, our Muslim fellows, that they are under subjugation. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala heal every one of them. They are bombing all the hospitals. They are out of light. They are out of oxygen. You see a mother carrying 2, 3 of the dead body of our children. A father, that is what is happening up to today. And some people are somewhere, they are happy. They are exerting power. Allah. All the kuwa, laka, wa na'nu du'afa'u ilayka. Allah, we know you are the supreme. You are the one that have the power. The way that you have done with S.A.W, Allah, we are asking you to deal with these people as well. Because you are the one that said, all those that are steadfast, you will come to their aid. Allah, we are asking you to come to the aid of our brothers in Palestine. Wherever they are tormenting our Muslim brothers, not only in Palestine, even in Saudi Arabia, some Muslims are being tormented. I can mention to you up to 8, 10 reputable scholars, just because they talk to the authority of Saudi Arabia that all this they are doing are nonsense. Immediately they finish their khutbah like this, they pick them, they go and throw them inside the dungeon. I know of 8 or 10 of them. I have them here. Because the person that is the king today, that is ruling, or the prince today, he was from the west. He studied in the west, and the authority of Saudi Arabia is in his hand now. In Riyadh today, the state capital of Saudi Arabia today, they are doing and undoing musical concerts. The other day, one Israeli, I mentioned his name, I forgot it. He entered Masjid Al-Haram to go and be capturing all the images in Masjid Al-Haram, not in Makkah, in Masjid Al-Haram. He was an Israeli, just like maybe last year. I mentioned his name, I forgot it now. Western civilization has come into Saudi Kingdom now. In Jeddah, in Riyadh, if you see what they are doing, they are musical concerts. Females are not driving. We have females that are playing football now, which wasn't there. So whenever this malam talk that, hey, what you the people in authority today are doing, immediately they finish their khutbah like this, they finish the Salat Juma, the next thing you see, I mean, they will come and take him. Some of them are already in prison for the past 18 years. Just telling them, they are not abusing. They are just calling their brain that what you are doing is not. These are the people that are supporting these Israelis because of business transactions. Allah, you know them. That's why I keep telling us, forget about skin color. It is your iman. Majority of us here that we are suffering here, we are far better than some of people that are seeing Kaaba every day. We are far better than them. The piety we have, majority of them, they don't have it. So if you see an Arab with one rawali, with one khalqimba, don't think it's better. La tuzaku anfusakum huwa alamu biman ittaqa. Allahumma izz al-islam wal muslimin wa zilla shirka wal mushrikin wa damir adaka a'da ad-din wa ansur ibadaka al-muwahhidin bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Allahumma ati nufusana taqwaha wa zakkiha anta khairu man zakkaha anta waliyuha wa mawlaha. Bismillahil ladzi la yadurru ma'a ismihi shay'un fil ardi wa la fis sama'. Raditu billahi rabban wa bil islam dinan wa bi Muhammadin nabiyyan sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Inna Allaha wa malaikatahu yusalluna 'alan nabiyyi ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Qumu ila salatikum.